Venice is a city unlike any other. It's made up of 118 individual islands, separated by 150 canals and connected by over 400 bridges. And though it might sound obvious, there are no cars here, no bikes and no lorries. Everything is done entirely by boat. There are gondolas, taxi boats, public transport boats, sightseeing boats, delivery boats, waste collection boats, police boats, ambulance boats. You get the idea. Water is the way of life in Venice. But with so many canals and so many bridges, it might surprise you to learn that only 4 cross the Grand Canal, the main S-shaped artery that divides the city in two. And until 2008, there were only 3. The oldest and most famous is the Rialto Bridge, and it's truly a thing of beauty. It was built in 1591, replacing an old wooden bridge that had collapsed several times to connect the rest of the city to the growing Rialto market. Even today, merchant stalls can still be found on the bridge itself and the adjacent market remains open. Next, there's the Accademia Bridge, linking the San Marco district to the Galleria dell'Accademia. Once an iron truss bridge, a competition was held in the 1930s to design a replacement. However, when nobody liked any of the entries, a temporary wooden bridge was constructed, which the public then inadvertently fell in love with. It's since been entirely replaced to the exact same specifications, but with metal arches added for support. And then the third bridge, the Scolzi Bridge, was built the following year in 1934, again replacing an older iron one. Whilst it might not be the most elaborate bridge in the world, it's slender, elegant, and remarkably durable for a bridge that's just 0.8 meters thick at its crown. Now here's where things get interesting. There had long been calls for a 4th bridge, and the city unquestionably had the need for one. For example, the Accademia and Rialto bridges are about 1.2 kilometers apart, so a bridge say here would be of tremendous benefit. And the Rialto and Scolzi bridges are even further apart, at 1.4 kilometers, making Midway the perfect candidate for its location. But instead, in 2008, Venice's long-awaited 4th bridge was built here, a little over 300 meters from the Scolzi Bridge. This new Constitution Bridge, as it's called, is painfully modern, in stark and unwelcome contrast to Venice's Baroque beauty. It's out of place and ugly, and was deemed a monstrosity by locals and tourists alike. But what really angered everyone is that the Constitution Bridge consists entirely of steps. It isn't wheelchair accessible. Now granted, a lot of the city's 400 plus bridges aren't, but many of them are centuries old. And the steps are made of glass and slanted, difficult for the elderly to navigate and becoming a slippery death trap in the rain. The people of Venice were both furious and slightly baffled, and there was widespread criticism and public protests. Maybe the bridge's position and style were just a matter of opinion or personal taste, but the fact that it wasn't wheelchair accessible was quite simply unacceptable. Their solution? Build a bizarre multi-million euro steampunk cocoon lift on a rollercoaster track, of course. This is one of the strangest things I have ever seen. It looks like something out of a Jules Verne novel. It's a strange glass orb that travels incredibly slowly across a narrow track on the outside of the bridge, and people thought the bridge couldn't get any more out of place. However, even this went wrong. The lift kept breaking down, giving a new meaning to the term tourist trap. People would often get stuck inside, and with its glass walls acting like a greenhouse in Venice's summer heat, the lift would get dangerously hot. When I was there in early 2019, the lift hadn't been working for some time, and shortly afterwards the Italian Court of Auditors ordered the city to scrap the lift altogether, describing it as a multi-million euro failure. And there's not really a moral to any of this. I guess it could be to listen to what people want, but that should have been obvious in the first place. The city is now a total of 14 million euros out of pocket, and just as inaccessible as it was before.